Joining us now is Alexander Scanlon. He's the founder, CEO, and managing director of Barton Gold. Good to see you again, Alex.
Hi, Mark. Yeah, thank you very much for having us back. It's good to be talking to you again.
Now, we spoke a while ago, a couple of months ago, at Red Cloud's pre-PDAC. So let's get up to speed on some of the developments at Barton, starting with your mineral resource update for your Tunkillia project.
Yeah, look, the big news for us recently is that we have expanded for the second time the resource at the 223 deposit, our Tunkillia project. So this is a big, broad, open pit style development. We have a deposit called the 223 deposit. It's about 2 kilometers long. We have now extended the mineralization to depth by about 50 to 150 meters at 3 key targets in that deposit. So it's starting to now really smooth at depth the resource profile. And the reason that's interesting for us is it's shaping up to be very broad, consistent open pit mineralization. The resource is now about 1.15 million ounces of gold. We think that we can continue to grow that, but also starting to look at how we might optimize that for development. So we've actually mapped out a higher grade central zone in the middle of that deposit where we've got about 100 meters of mining width, including 20 to 40 meters of mineralization that's up to 10 grams per ton, as well as a shallow blanket that sits on top of the whole deposit that will essentially pay for it to be opened. So a lot of stuff going on, and we'll continue to grow that during the balance of the year.
You've also extended the strike length at Area 51, and you say you're finding higher grade core. What are some of the highlights there?
Yeah, so Area 51 is pretty interesting because it sits about 5 kilometers away from that main 223 deposit at the Tunkillia project. So we're on the same western side of the shear, which houses that deposit, but it's a completely different sort of mineral sequence. So we have grown that to about 700 meters in strike length now, but at the middle of it, we actually have this higher grade core. So there's a 2 to 250 meter long section that has got about a 50 gram meter body of mineralization. It's interesting because it starts to look like the style of mineralization we see at that big 223 deposit where we've got a higher grade core, but probably more importantly technically than anything else because it tells us that the same style of mineralization where we can find concentrated economic central cores is repeating along the structure. So we'll be coming back later this year and looking to see if we can actually potentially convert some of that into JORC resource, which would then actually sort of look like potentially, hopefully, a mini-me version of the 223 deposit.
Alex, you've also firmed up a partnership with SensOre to utilize their AI and machine learning, and you're in phase 2 now. So what can you tell us about this arrangement?
Yeah, so the SensOre partnership is something that we've been working on for a long time. So we originally announced the partnership with them going back well over a year now as sort of the stage 1 approach to looking at the potential of applying their data in the region. And fundamentally, what the partnership is essentially the adapting of their technology, which was designed for use in a predominantly outcropping style of mineralization in Western Australia, taking that, adding a lot of our own proprietary project data in, and then applying that technique and that tool for use in South Australia, where you're dealing predominantly with exploration undercover. So it's really augmenting or creating a new tool based upon some interesting pathways that they've developed thus far. The partnership that we have covers the vast majority of the central Gawler Craton of South Australia. So we have an approach where we bring the exploration, they bring the technology, we're refining this tool together, and we essentially have an exclusive partnership with them for gold and copper over about 60,000 square kilometers of the central Gawler Craton.
Alex, you've talked before about the unique value that Barton can offer to shareholders in terms of gold sales from your mill cleanup. You did one a couple of months ago to the tune of about $500,000. What more can you tell us about this program? Because my understanding is that you have more to come.
Yeah, so the March gold sale of $500,000 was actually the second component of a gold sale we started last year. So last year during April 2022, we actually took about 1.3 tons of high-grade gold concentrates and materials out of our gold room at our Central Gawler Mill. And we processed those and have recovered now about 540, 550 ounces of gold. And therefore that $500,000 was actually the second payment. We received $1 million in June of last year. We have also now, during December of 2022, done a preliminary sort of mill workover and optimization review looking at the central Gawler mill. And the thinking there is that we think we can optimize the gravity circuit on the mill. As we started disassembling some of the components to look at cleaning, we realized there was actually about 10 tons of material still in the gravity side of the plant. So we stripped down the gravity circuit, we've taken that material out, and we've actually started prepping that material for sale. And the big news, which is quite literally being announced just now, is that of the 10 tons or so of material that we took out, the first 3.8 tons of that material have now been prepared and homogenized, and they graded about 3,000 grams per ton. So that 3.8 tons contains around 375 ounces of gold, more or less, worth just over $1 million Australian at today's gold price. So we'll continue to prepare the balance of that 10 tons of material, and once we have it all ready to go, then we'll look at selling that. So hopefully during the second half of 2023, we will sell all those materials.
Alexander Scanlon, he is the founder, CEO, and managing director at Barton Gold.